Second down, here's an option right. Bulldozes past him. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Touchdown.
Welcome to episode 3 of the Road to Schematic Perfection. Introducing the forward pass. We're going to round out the gun slot offset with the only pass play you'll ever need to become completely successful with this scheme. For most games, I don't think you even really need to pass the ball. I finished an undefeated all-Madden first string season recently, running almost only the plays that I've shown you so far. But I'm not going to be naive. We know that you're coming up against a really good opponent and they're really overcommitting to stop the run, we're going to need to give it a little change up to throw it behind them. But we're going to keep it simple, we're going to keep it fun, and we're going to make sure that it fits seamlessly into our scheme. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to just briefly go over what's available in the gun slot offset. We have the MTN Y Cross, which is what we're going to go over. There's the motion spot, which is kind of interesting with the corner, but I don't think that's as effective as it was in years past. Slants is always terrible. FL drag, that backside shallow post, whatever you want to call it, is interesting, but not interesting enough. Under shakes can get open, but it just takes too long. I don't really like it, and that's really all you have. So we'll get started with the MTN Y Cross, and I gotta go over how to beat cover 2 and how to beat cover 3 and cover 4. We're not gonna go over man coverage. Anybody can beat that. It's not hard at all. Okay, so we'll go 3-4 odd. Actually, what we'll do is we'll go nickel Tampa 2. I still think Tampa 2 is the best coverage in the game. It has been last year, it definitely is. Well, it definitely was last year, I think it is this year still. Okay, so there's a number of ways that you can attack it with this formation. What I like, first of all, is that you have this motion. So same motion as the PA halfback swing, same as the halfback screen, the cross screen. Although there was a tell in that one where the right side running back is lined up beside the quarterback, but anyway. And the same motion as the motion triple option. So what's good about it is that if you have an over-aggressive user, they might key on that and open things up behind them. So if you want to see how it kind of works out, just like that. Okay, so now cover 2, some of you may know, it took a while for us to kind of figure out in Madden 17, some people probably still don't know it, is that for cover 2, if you have a cloud flat, or I believe the soft squat there, if you only have one receiver to that side, so if you have one receiver isolated, Ted Ginn Jr. as we see, and you have everybody else on the other side, well, the corner matched up on him, Humphrey in this case. By the way, Humphrey, the other corner, and the 2 safeties have been bumped to 91 zone. This would be pretty useless otherwise. But anyway, with this, you have this motion, and it's gonna isolate Ted Ginn Jr., and that corner is gonna convert to man coverage. So if I put, actually let me repeat. So if I convert Ted Ginn to a slant there, you're gonna watch Humphrey follow him all the way across the street, across the field. Okay. So yeah, I don't really like how Match D is implemented in this game, because really I think it's just a way for us to exploit the defense even more. So what we'll do is Ted Ginn on a slant, Michael Vick on a swing to his side, and that Ted Ginn is going to draw the cornerback. He's going to even draw that outside linebacker, and Michael Vick is going to be wide open on his side of the field. Okay, juke, spin, spin, break a tackle. Okay, and yeah, they did patch the jukes and spins, but I think they're still going to be effective. Or if you want, you can get somebody that's just bulldozing people, but they're going to be slower. I'm still going to rock with these guys. So let's run that again. You could even do a drag route or an in route. Okay. Wait for him to draw. And also, I noticed that the user tends to not really expect that, so he won't cover that flat either. I mean, generally as a user, you don't want to cover the flat, so you'll kind of leave it open. but it's going to be a good source for big time yards. It's not going to work against the hard flats. They're going to stick there. And also a savvy user will know is if they just shade over the top, they'll still have that cloud flat, but that cloud flat will not convert to man coverage. Okay, so we'll do the same thing with that shading over the top. Sticks there, makes the play. Okay, so that's something you have to watch out for. Okay, next thing you have, if you want to change it up with that same, kind of concept there, and the user isn't keying on it, but you want to still change it up a bit, well, you can just put in on an out route. Easy 10 yards, and can be even more if you run it right. Now this one is, not only will the over the top or underneath stop it, but also press coverage will muddy it up. I will say it's still possible to get the ball in there, but it's a bit tougher because they're going to get that bump. Oh, by the way, I was going to get into this before anyway, but if you don't get the right read, do not ever force the ball in. Especially this year, you're going to get intercepted, but now you have Bo Jackson, right? If you have a little lane, you have to take it. You're going to get at least 10 yards with not being touched. And then from there, don't be afraid to juke, spin, truck, because you're probably not going to fumble the ball, and you're probably going to beat the defender. Okay, so make sure to always watch for that scramble. Okay, so again, I'm going to run this out route. I'm not going to do any sort of shading. Don't think he should get yeah, see, he's able to get that outside release, but it's still kind of a little muddy. But it's something you can do for sure. Okay, so now change up on the other side. So we still have this two great routes on the side here, the deep crosser and the deep in route, or the dig route. What you'll find is with cover two, again, you'll have this deep third safety. And then if your user is, say he's on this linebacker, or I guess in this case a slot defender, and he's over aggressive, and he's pursuing that, he thinks it's a PA swing, or he thinks you're going to run an option to that side, he might cheat, and you just throw it to Josh Hill there, or I mean, some sort of decent tight end or wide receiver that you'll have there for easy 10 yards. Keep that defender honest, because if you notice that he's really keying on your option or keying on your swing or whatever, you can throw that in as a change up just to keep him honest. So that's good. Now also, if you have a situation where, oops, that user is going to track the crossing route, so that's something, I mean, average users will usually look for that first breaking route inside, or that crossing route. It's going to track it, totally take it away, but you have that backside dig route wide open. Okay, so that's an easy game you can play there. If the user goes left, you go right. If he stays, you have that Josh Hill there. In the middle of the field is going to be open because that middle linebacker is going deep. Now, if you have a really good user, somebody that, say, will take that shallow crosser and then try to jump, try to anticipate that dig route. Well, I don't know if that makes it great, but anyway, if he does that, and if you trust your offensive line a little, well, you can hit that sweet spot there. To make that a bit better, I'd put Ted Ginn on something shallow. You know, you can do him on a whip route, or just keep him on a smoke screen. This is probably better to the boundary, so you don't have to run such a long route. Okay, now that safety won't get cleared out, but you should still be able to fit it in there. Okay, so many options, guys. And again, if you don't see anything you like, scramble with this superstar. You're gonna get a ton of routes. Ton of yards. Okay. Oh, by the way, before we move on to cover 3, cover 4, we always have this. If they're running a really good Tampa 2, really annoying you, you always have that. Okay, so if you don't know what I'm doing, I'd go check out my video on this game breaking fade throw. You're gonna motion your speedy Barry Sanders or Michael Vick. Actually, if you motion the Vick, he's gonna line up right beside that right tackle, and it doesn't work as nicely. Also, you'll want to make sure this Hill is doing some sort of a fade or streak, because otherwise it is possible that your Barry will get jammed, and that'll totally ruin everything. Oh, okay. Threw that too late, but definitely watch that video. If you haven't already, it'll tell you kind of how to get that timing down. The timing is tricky. You got to kind of make sure you know, okay, if they're in base formation 3-4-4-3, those safeties are going to be a bit shallower, and you'll be able to throw it kind of at the 10-yard mark. You get that touchdown. If it's nickel or dime or dollar, they're a bit further back and it's a bit trickier, but you could definitely still do it, especially if you have someone, I mean, the guy has 95 speed. Okay, so that's cover 2. I'm gonna put cover 3 and cover 4 into one. I consider them pretty much the same thing. For me, when I'm dissecting defenses, it's really just about where's that flat. Is it the flat zone with the cornerback, or is it with the slot defender? So the outside linebacker or the nickel. And then from there, we can dissect the coverage with high-low passes, left to right, and such on, and so on. So we'll just do cover 3. The reason why I say this is just that you don't come a lot across the seam flats with the match coverage, and you don't come across the default quarter flats a lot. Even the curl flats. I mean, pretty much everyone decent is going to run these cloud flats or hard flats if they're trying to get you off guard. It's really one of the two, and you can get either one at a cover 3 or cover 4. And I don't think there's really too much of a difference between a single high safety and 2 high safeties, since, I mean, it's next to impossible to get that seam route. Like, if I try to get a seam route here with Josh Hill, I mean, albeit he's not great, and if they're running cloud flats so you're not going to get bumped, it's still pretty hard to fit that in there. You can always fit it in there, like if you have really good receiver, and actually Bo Jackson's great at this because he has really high throw power, he'll get that in there quick. But you got to watch out, because, I mean, if you have a user underneath, which I guess you could run it to this opposite side. Okay. Actually, that could be interesting. Let me put that into, I'll build that into the next thing I'm going to show you. So keep that in your mind. Same thing with cover 2, we have the quick crosser. Okay, so over aggressive user player. I don't know. Okay, we got Josh Hill there. And if he's halfway decent, and if you're, I mean, I'm running 2 controllers, so it's kind of tough to do the possession catch, but you can definitely fit it in there. Maybe not against cover 3 because you have that other hook curl. You'd have to run it to the far side of the field. Okay, far side of the field, overcommit. You have wide open Josh Hill there. Okay, I wish you could run it on both sides of the field, but really you can only run it to the far side. Okay, so always have that quick crosser if you're running against zone, which 99.99% of the time you will. Now you have this out route, of course. I don't run it as much as I did back in Madden 17, just because you see so many cloud flats nowadays. But if they're in curl flat, they're gonna get caught up on the slot. You're gonna be wide open there. Okay, and if you have someone like Odell or someone that has good juke and spin and a ton of speed, you can kind of make your way around that corner. You can get a touchdown. But this kind of brings me back to what we were talking about earlier. So if you have a seam there and if you have the out, if you take a cloud flat, first of all, it's kind of a bit tougher to fit that in, just because he drifts underneath that. Though I will say, if you have patience here, sorry guys, that was still curl flat. Okay, cloud flat. If you have a bit of patience, you should be able to actually get it right at the end there. No, it makes it even worse. Anyway, so obviously to determine if it's cloud flat, you just see if they bump that slot receiver. If they do, it's curl flat. If they don't, it's cloud flat or hard flat, but you can kind of notice if they go crash towards the line of scrimmage or go up, which one's which. But again, yeah, if you don't see that, you can probably throw it to hill there. And again, totally, okay, cloud flat. Cloud flat, you have that seam and out combination. Yeah, I try to make it work. That seam is tough, guys. It's kind of what I was saying. Yeah, that seam is tough. Don't run that seam, because even if you wait to clear that hook zone, that safety in that corner is going to be ready for you. Okay, so you have that. On the other side of the field, you have this high-low concept with the swing route and the dig route. So I try to do this to the side where the user isn't on. So your user, say over here, you'd want to do it to the right side. Again, that identified chemistry is going to be really helpful for this. So say if they run cloud flat, they're going to drift underneath that dig, be wide open here. I would say at the very least you're going to get 5 yards, and then you should be looking to break that. You should be able to get more yards than that. Make the first guy or two miss, get at least 10 yards on that. Now, if they're got the hard flat there, should get Michael Thomas. Okay, so easy high-low game, and since the user is really one of these two guys, pretty much 99.9% of the time, they're not usually going to be coming out there, unless they're really crazy, in which case, you can bring the hook here. By the way, that's a nice little change up, is if you have Michael Vick here on the hook, Hill on the flat, and Barry can be, say, blocking or out here or whatever. Then you're looking to manipulate the non-user. So if the non-user is Mosley, he's going to jump on that hook or that curl route, and you're going to have room above him. So again, you're going to want to align this to which side the user is not on. So if he's not on him, we're going to draw in Michael Vick. This Hill is going to draw that slot defender out, whether it's a curl flat, cloud flat, hard flat, or whatever. Okay, so bonded cloud flats. This simple three-man concept, Michael Vick, run the curl, Hill running the out, or the flat route, and Thomas over it. Okay, I really like that one, just because it works against any flat route. You really don't need to do any sort of read. And you'll notice actually a lot of people, when you're running this offense, a lot of people are going to come with this cover 3 in order to get that 8th defender down, so that both sides will have that pitch defender kind of closer towards the line of scrimmage and make things tough for you. Though I'd say, by the way, if you see that inside zone is going to work, that when you take that handoff, it's going to work really well. But other than that, you still have these great passing plays to work off of. Another thing I want to say is you always have this backside hook and curl. I don't think anybody runs this but me, but it's so easy. I don't know why you wouldn't. So hook curl, you expect a hard flat, or it doesn't even matter what you expect. Okay. And I think Ginn dropped it there, yeah. But you're not going to be running Ted Ginn there. You're going to get someone with high catch of traffic. They're going to catch that every time. And then just to the far side, and they're running, say, cloud flat, you have that swing curl concept there. Again, easy 5 if not more yards. For the check down, I mean, you don't see too many people running those check downs unless they're a nice one of those table routes or whatever. But if you have Barry, if you have Vic, and if you have good blockers, it's going to turn out well for you. Okay, so that's it for cover 3, cover 4. I'm going to show you anyway. We'll go really quick. Let's go motion Y cross. Let's go cover 4, drop show 2. Everybody's most hated defense. We're going to go again, same thing. So if you're hard flat, okay, good catch in traffic should be able to cover that, but you can just clear them out with hill. Okay, easy stuff. They run the cloud flat. You have Barry. I think this way you have more defenders coming in. It's a bit harder to do that. But again, it's not our bread and butter. That's the triple options for. We have this just as a change up. Another thing I want to say with cover 4, if for whatever reason you come across someone that's keeping these porta flats, well, they should pretty much always drop on the flat route. And in that case, it was a little late. Okay, we'll run the flat from this side. After he gets the jam, he's gonna go there. You're gonna have wide open above him. Okay, so it's pretty much like a hard flat if somebody's out there. Okay, that's all I have for you. Guys, add this to your repertoire. I wouldn't say you should run it too much, say maybe 10% at a time. Again, I won, I don't know how many games straight, just running those triple option, just running that swing, that screen. I threw in a couple of these, but to be honest, I didn't need it. If this video helped you guys out, make sure to leave a like. If you haven't already, I'd make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna be releasing a ton of videos this weekend, more on this great offensive scheme. Okay, I'll see you then.